In this video, I'm going to talk about one word and one word only. Always get afraid of fucking this word up when I'm spelling it. I don't know why I always want to put the C before the S. That's besides the point. So the first question to ask yourself, bro, if you want to really get this discipline shit down packed and get lean, because listen, chances are you're watching this video, maybe you've been lean before, but you have never been able to stay lean year round. And you know what? I've been in a position that's very uncomfortable where I look at guys who are lean in November, December, January, February. It doesn't matter what time of the year, these guys are lean because they have discipline down packed when it comes to their diet, and they understand that discipline and losing weight is very fucking simple. All it boils down to, and look, honestly, if you just watch this part of the video, you probably get it figured out. All discipline and diet boils down to is being able to restrict your calories. That's all. That's the only discipline required. Discipline and your diet just requires you to say no to exceeding your maintenance calories, and honestly, going 500 to 700 calories below your maintenance calories. That's all the discipline that is going to be required. But here's the thing, there's a psychology behind it. So the first thing is we got to get clear on why you're struggling with the discipline. So ask yourself that question right now. In fact, I'm asking you, why are you struggling with the discipline when it comes to your diet? Because I lost 25 pounds, and a question that really fucked me up when I asked myself this question was, why did it take me 5 years to go from 235 pounds all the way down to 194 pounds? Why did it take me 5 years to lose 40 pounds when it should have only taken me 6 months? Do you want this goal that you have to take you 3 years when it could just take you 3 months? Think about that. Think about that. I know that woman just messed you up. That's going to have you feeling sick for the rest of this video, but stick with me. I'm going to give you an answer and a solution. So, is it that the food, are you having a hard time coping with your emotions in a healthy way? So what you're doing is you're using food to solve your problems, similar to how an alcoholic sees alcohol after a long day. You're an addict, buddy. So is it that? What else could it be? Could it be that you're simply lying to yourself? You're not as committed to being lean as you tell yourself, and it shows in your actions. It shows when you go out to socialize, when you say, you know what, fuck it, I'll go and have a Philly cheesesteak because it's the only place open. Even though you've already hit your deficit number. And you know that eating this Philly cheesesteak is going to put you in a 3,000 calorie surplus. Dude, you just gained a pound of fat in one night. Is it that? Are you lying to yourself? You got to get clear on what it is that's truly standing in your way of being disciplined. And you know what's funny? I'm going to give you a very simple framework to get lean. Now look, you're probably looking at me, you're like, God, bro, you look like a heavy guy. Honestly, I'm not at my leanest, but I'm getting there. I've already lost 10 pounds in the past 2 weeks. And I plan to stay here. But you got to keep watching, tapping into the channel, subscribe to see how far I'm really taking it. So right now, if I flex really hard, you can see some visible abs. I'm about 218 pounds. My goal is to get down to 195 before the end of this year. It's middle of November 2025. So I have confidence that we'll get there, especially with the deep understanding I now have with discipline and just simplifying this whole process. But let me get back to the fucking topic of the video. Basically what I'm saying is this, brother. This framework that I have for staying disciplined on your diet is very simple, but you first must get clear on what it is that's standing in your way of saying no to calories, because there's so many definitions of discipline, right? But as it pertains to food, as it pertains to your diet, the definition is simple. Look, discipline is simply this: saying no to excess calories. Now I'm going to give you the framework. Losing weight is literally this fucking simple. One, figure out what your maintenance calories are, right? By using a calculator to input your age, weight, height, and activity level. It will spit out a maintenance calorie for you, okay? Two, what you then do is you don't exceed your maintenance. You either meet or you fall below. That's what the below is what we call the caloric deficit. You either meet or you fall below. You never exceed maintenance. But what you strive to do 5 to 7 days, 5 to 7 days out the week, you strive, you aspire. What's another synonym? Throw one out there. Put it in the comments. You aspire. You aim. Your goal is to fall 500 to 700 calories below your maintenance calorie. And you are guaranteed to lose weight. That is how that is how simple losing weight is. But what makes it tricky is when you don't know why you're doing this. And you don't know why you can't execute here. And the saying no. So you got to get clear there first and foremost. Okay? And then you will lose the weight. But you must do this for at least 3 months. Everything I just told you, following that simple framework of figuring out your maintenance calories and then either meeting it or falling below it, but aiming to fall below it 500 to 700 calories below it, 5 to 7 days out of the week. You must do that for 3 months because guess what? Getting lean, this lean shit, what I figured out when I was 194 pounds and I exploded back up to 230 pounds months later because when I initially got lean, when I initially got down to 194, the whole reason I got lean in the first place was because I wanted to date hotter chicks. And in my mind, I had to get lean to do that. And that's not true, but it was true for me because getting that lean gave me the confidence I needed to start approaching women that I felt like that version of me was going to be able to attract, and I did. And once I did that, I got really depressed because those girls were draining me, and I let them get to me. So now this go around, the reason I want to get lean is because I want this to be a lifestyle. I want to walk around lean year round to show that I love and respect myself, that I treat my body like a temple. This is now a lifestyle to me. That's why I want to do it. And to also prove to myself that, you know what? I don't have a discipline problem. I just have problems that were trying to block me from discipline. So use that framework, but understand that getting lean is not as simple as, losing 20 pounds and then being able to eat like shit 4 out of the 7 days of the week. No, you will gain that weight back. A quote by Grego Gallagher that really cemented this into my brain and just really kind of helped me flip the switch in my mind. He said that you're always, when it comes to being lean, this lean shit, you're always dieting. Think about it. To hit your maintenance calories, to most Americans, maintenance is a deficit. Most Americans have been trained to overfeed themselves, shit their guts out, and then feel disgusted when they look in the mirror. Absolutely hate the body that they have to look at every night or every morning. That is the American way. That is now the American dream. Stuff your fucking face, look in the mirror and be disgusted with yourself, and then Complain about why you can't find a life partner. So if you're watching this channel, I know, I know you're not trying to be that person. And I know that you've actually have maybe had experience of being a lean version of yourself, but maybe you've lost your way. So my goal again from this video was to push you back into the direction of being able to just get back on the wheel and stay on it. Because I know it gets tough. Like I said, man, I've recently lost 10 pounds and I feel amazing. But in the back of my mind, there's something in me that's just like, still like, hey, but food though, it solves the problem, right? So what I had to do was I had to figure out how to manage that problem without needing food. So that's another thing. This is the last thing. I challenge you that once you get clear on what the problem is that's keeping you from the discipline, from doing the work, right? I challenge you to then find a solution to that problem that's not food. So, example, I'm gonna leave you with an example so you can go out there and make a change today, right now. If you looked at food like I once looked at food as problem solving, a way to cope, what I did was I started to use meditation as a tool. Because what you realize is that as you're observing your thoughts through the meditation practice, you realize that thoughts that come up, they're involuntary. And they're not tied to your identity. They're not you. You're not the thought. So when this thought arrives, it no longer has the claws to pull you down into that emotional state that then propels you to do something that is misaligned from where you're trying to be. So most people want to be disciplined, but they can't be because, you know, they're being tied, they're being weighed down by their thoughts. Like, and that was happening to me. That was happening to me. All the stress I was getting from these girls I was dating, I allowed those thoughts to push me to do. Another thing, I was also socializing a lot, like going out with friends and going on dates. So these things, you know, cause these buffers for me to jump back up and wait. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I started to use meditation as a way to realize that I am not these thoughts that come up. And I won't allow these thoughts to turn food into my world. Where now my world revolves around food. No. When that thought arises, I can say, oh, that's a thought about a past memory, or that thought is a fear, or that thought is some anxiety shit about a situation that may be going on in my life, or that thought is lust. But I'm not that thought. These are just thoughts that are coming up like clouds. I'm the sky, and these thoughts are the clouds. They're just passing by. So now I can push some clouds out the way and redirect my focus back to my goal, which is to be 194 pounds or 195 pounds by the end of this year. And I can do what is necessary through discipline, through execution of the framework that I just gave you, so that I can get there, because it works. Eating in a caloric deficit 5 to 7 days out of the week and only meeting maintenance calories for those 2 days or that 1 day out the week, you're absolutely going to lose weight. So figure out a way to do that. But first, again, the challenge to you, my brother, get clear on what your real problem is that's blocking you from being disciplined, from saying no to the excess in calories. That is the vid.